Welcome to this edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, the show where three mostly normal and somewhat cynical adults discuss life as members of the TV generation. Now here are your hosts, Darth Jader, Jason Mitchell, and Adam B.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
I'm sorry, I cut the music a little bit too. Sorry, I got a little too excited there. Just went everywhere on me.
Can you believe this guy?
We're back.
So we have to work with.
We are
with another Halloween episode.
It's Halloween.
Now I'm wondering how many people will guess the movie based on the prop.
I mean,
it
it's
could
not
be
subtle.
any number of horror films.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure the props on the other side of the table have
based on the
given it
props
away.
and the extra, based on the props and the extra individual alone in the studio. If you don't know,
he's got a shirt on too.
Yeah,
Don't look
he
too
does.
closely.
We're doing a Dino De Laurentiis movie.
Yes,
Woo!
we are. Oddly enough,
The guy who made, he's responsible for some of the worst.
King Kong 2.
Yeah.
Horrific.
Dune.
King Kong
he was the guy
lives.
behind Dune.
Oh.
He is the reason why, to this day, David Lynch calls Kyle MacLachlan Kale. Because Dino couldn't say Kyle, so he called him Kale. So that's what David Lynch... Kale, I need you to do something.
yeah. But when Dino calls you anything, you respond.
Yes.
I would assume. So I'm sure Kyle MacLachlan has just no issue with that.
Yeah, if you someday we'll have to do the Canon Films documentary, which is
Absolutely.
incredible. But we are actually picking up where we left off. I think maybe the last time you
Halloween.
Okay, yeah.
Well, last time I was here was Christmas time, I believe.
That's right. But we did Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2 last Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, and we are. And Darth, what are we doing this week?
Army of Darkness.
Army of
all
Darkness,
right.
yeah.
AKA Evil Dead 3, AKA The Medieval Dead.
AKA
Yeah.
the permanent loss of Darth's patience.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Darth.
Come on.
Have a heart, Darth.
You're so cynical. We're the old ones. We're supposed to be cynical.
Oh, my old
You know?
cynical
Speak for
fella.
yourself.
I think we're rubbing off on her.
We only do that
Didn't
off
you get in
camera.
trouble for doing that once?
I'm not allowed
That was in public.
Not allowed within a quarter mile of any
Apparently, we're not
school,
supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Damn it, you made it so much
off to a
worse.
great start.
Evil Dead.
But we are doing Army of Darkness, and young Adam, tell us why besides the fact that it was the next one in line,
And,
what
you know,
else made you pick this
torturing
movie?
me is so obvious
I
at this
mean,
point. So
It's another Halloween. It's another Evil Dead movie. It might as well be my tradition at this point. Yeah, I guess part of me wants to do it just because I like torturing Jader so much, but also I'm a completionist, so I wanted to, complete the trilogy.
I support both of those motivations.
Yeah, no, that's
Actually,
good.
those are both good. I guess in that case, special effect from the Final Countdown.
it's the final
No, it is. It's the exact same effect from the movie The Final Countdown, where the
USS
aircraft
Nimitz.
carrier goes through.
Love it.
Well, I guess that means that next Halloween we're gonna have to do Ash versus the Evil Dead.
It's a 3-season show. That's going to be tough.
Is it still
Jeez.
running?
But
Don't do
Is
this
it
to
done?
me.
the good news is, but by the time next year rolls around, there will be 2 more Evil Dead movies to do. There's the remake, and there's the new one coming out this year.
What is
And-
coming out this year?
This year is Evil Dead Rise, which is a sequel to the original trilogy without Bruce Campbell.
Aww. Well, then I literally have to ask, no snark involved here. What the hell is the point of that?
Yeah.
Because
I don't
these
see
movies
why.
are just Bruce freaking Campbell vehicles. That's
They
all
are.
they are.
Without Campbell, I mean, the remake, although it's fine, is my least favorite because no Campbell.
Yeah.
Campbell is Evil Dead.
Yeah. I mean, you're hanging out with Ash, and that's kind of the point of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like you could do an Indiana Jones movie based on, Marcus Brody. You could. You no one would want it, or you could do something. you could continue the Indiana Jones story. Why though? What's the point? It's all about Indy. So doing Evil Dead without Ash, I don't know. I don't see the point.
Pretty pointless.
Money?
Yeah,
Maybe.
shameless
Evil
cash
Dead,
grab.
the search for more money.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Well, because I mean, can you
Just like Men
imagine
in
like
Black
taking?
2.
Can you imagine taking like a classic group of 3 movies that we loved when we were younger, and then just sort of making stories about sort of tangential characters
That no one's heard of
that
or
nobody
cares about.
And then Disney
Maybe-
buys
Oh,
them.
I know,
Disney
put it in
buys
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Oscar-worthy idea.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
And you come home from the theater disappointed every other year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
what-
just quit going.
Yeah.
It's kind of what happens at the end.
You lose
But-
momentum.
When we left off with Evil Dead 2, which of course is basically a remake of Evil Dead 1 in its sense.
More money.
Sort of, kind of. Yeah.
Well,
I don't
what's the
know.
relationship then? What would you say?
I would say it's the beginning is like a quick rehash remake of the original, and then it jumps into being a sequel. So it's a remake-well.
Well, remember the last time you were here, I had the thought that maybe since the Deadites are never really officially defeated, they just keep coming back no matter what the fuck Bruce Campbell does to them.
Yeah.
I thought it was some sort of hell that he was living over and over. Like maybe he died in the first one, and then this is just
Okay.
his, I don't know, some sort of reiteration of hell, and he keeps maybe dying, but they bring him back to torture him some more, and
That it's an interpretation.
It's a cool theory. I mean, there's different
and now
timelines.
he's in medieval times, and he's running around on a horse. So why not?
and he's
Why
eating
not?
chicken with his hands.
People are trying to stab his car with their swords. It's so hilarious.
It's great. Yeah, it's classic.
Well, it's definitely look a movie like this. It's you're either going to love Ash, and I think this is the reason why you can't do it without Bruce Campbell. The fulcrum that the whole thing sort of goes on, whether you enjoy it or not, is do you love Ash? If you love Ash, hey, it's a movie with Ash in it. Fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's him doing his thing. Great. It may not be my favorite, but it's going to be good. I'll enjoy it. If you don't like Ash, well,
The problem is that I have no nostalgia for these movies. The first time I saw them was at Darby's behest because we were going to be recording the first one on the show. And I was not into scary things growing up. So even though these movies get sillier and sillier as they progress, it just was not my cup of tea growing up. So being forced to watch it in adulthood and hearing how much everybody loves it and how on the bandwagon and drinking the Kool-Aid everyone is with these movies, I just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm the most contrarian person. Can we maybe move? Craftsman's not paying us enough to keep the.
Yeah,
it's like taking up most of our
Can we
shot.
explain why Mr. Brown is armed again? Can we get into that? Because it seems like I sit next to him a
He
lot.
does have a lot of cutting implements.
Yeah.
I do. Well, yeah, I needed to bring a prop, something 18 inches long. And so I brought this.
I already came here, so.
Would you mind putting that on the floor for me?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Put it on the ground.
Grab all 18 inches and
and just hold
put
it
it, just
tight.
put it somewhere.
Mr. Brown, very serious question for you. With all these weapons that you bring to our studio, how many strippers have you killed and why?
He can't answer that
Are there
question.
stains in the trunk?
As his attorney.
Yeah.
My legal counsel.
We will not be commenting on an ongoing investigation.
Oh, I see.
Please move on.
No.
Interesting.
Great question, but moving
Mr.
on.
Cleaner.
Well, Darby answered the question about how the movies sort of tie together. So let's get to the synopsis. Or did you?
No,
was
no,
that,
yeah.
Oh,
No,
you
you're
were finished?
correct.
Okay, cool. So the synopsis of this film, Army of Darkness, which both Amazon and Google disagree on when it came out. Amazon claims that it
Prime
came out.
doesn't know when movies came out.
Yeah, Prime claims that this movie came out in 93, whereas the internet believed that it came out in 92.
Well, that's what it said in the credits. I did look at the credits. It said
Yeah.
19.
You
Good year.
always do. You're
Yeah,
so
that was a good
impressive.
year.
That
I
way.
wait till the very end because I
Well-
want to pay homage to all the people who worked on this wonderful film.
This is the 30th anniversary of the song.
Oh, yes,
wow.
that's right.
Oh, this movie's your age.
So by the time this episode comes out, I'm no longer young Adam.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that's
And
true.
possibly by the time, oh no, not possibly. By the time this episode comes out, something else is happening.
That's true.
That's a rather big change in life, isn't it, Darby?
Yeah, I'll be Mr. Darby. Yeah.
Oh, did she like it? Did she put a
No.
ring on it?
She
That's so
did.
cute.
She got down on one knee and
Aw.
I love it. I just love the fact that we're all coming to your wedding. That's nice.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're gonna party like it's 1999, baby.
Young Adam is going to be old Adam in no time.
Yeah, actually, that is true. I think the requirement for not being young Adam anymore is getting married. So
Yeah.
Married, 30.
Yeah.
Time of death, October 9th.
No. That's a little too much.
I did see something on the internet about weddings today. There was a picture of a kid, and it said, "Whenever I go to weddings, old people always elbow me and say, 'You're next.'" And I got tired of it, so now when I go to funerals, I elbow them.
Yep, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
But anyway, so the movie, as we have stated.
Oh, wait, synopsis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We keep forgetting it. So, okay.
Seamlessly connects with Evil Dead 2. No continuity errors whatsoever.
Oh, dear God. So the synopsis of this film is Ash is transported back to medieval days where he is captured by the dreaded Lord Arthur. Aided by the deadly chainsaw that has become his only friend, Ash is sent on a perilous mission to recover the Book of the Dead, a powerful tome that gives its owner the power to summon an army of ghouls.
And it's a good thing that when when the movie begins, somehow, and I guess it happened off screen, because he comes through the portal and the car comes through, and the pallet with all the ammunition and the fuel must have landed just off camera.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to
all the
Listen
jerry
closely.
cans of gasoline.
Yeah.
And,
Listen really closely, you can hear it.
But so the Evil Dead 2 ends with see
Ash is-
you get
There's a
some gore.
literal geyser of blood.
Yeah.
It's paint.
It's tempera paint.
No, the Evil Dead 2 ends with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Ash being sucked into this vortex.
Was Evil Dead 2 a comedy?
A horror comedy, yeah.
Because the first one definitely was not a comedy.
No.
I think
No.
the second one, it was starting to edge toward comedy. I don't know that it was an out-and-out comedy the way this third one is, but I don't care. So go on with your opinion.
You realize you're going to have armies of nerds outraged at you.
I already have trolls.
You realize that? You
Yeah.
realize, I mean,
Yeah.
This is a beloved trilogy.
I've
Yeah.
read the Necronomicon, which is my own notes, so the army of the dead is coming to get me, I guess.
Yeah.
Join
Sorry,
us.
guys. I
And where's
just
the
don't
part
like
where
them.
it ends up in the pyramid so Rachel Weisz can read it later on? Anyway.
I know. He didn't even. Well, the professor. Nobody read the book out loud. He just said the wrong words in this iteration,
Yeah.
unless
Yeah.
I'm incorrect.
Which is, by the way, an incantation from the day the earth stood still.
Yeah.
Klaatu Barada Nikto.
Yep.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I woke up to a text from Mr.
Keanu
Brown.
Reeves said it.
Oh, God.
Oh Lord.
That happens.
No one remembers it.
No, I woke up to a text of those words from Mr. Brown this morning, and I was like, "Yeah, boomstick, sugar, we get it, thanks." It's just, I don't care.
Nectar. Nickel.
When I saw this movie and he said, "Give me some sugar," I had never heard that expression before. I kid you
Sugar,
not.
baby.
Seriously?
I'm
No.
like,
I've never
no,
heard
I
it
had
either.
not. I had not. And I watched that. I said,
What?
Damn Yankee. He's
I
so
like
weird.
That. Is it a Southern thing?
You've never heard the expression?
I don't
Well,
know.
this was 30 years ago.
I
when
think
I
it's
saw it.
wow.
pretty ubiquitous. Where
Give
I
me
don't know
some
that
sugar.
it's.
And then I just went and I said, I'm going to say that to a girl and see what happens.
Why are you looking at me right now?
Didn't Beetlejuice say that?
Give me some sugar, baby.
Something along
Yeah,
your
probably.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It does
See,
sound like something
I
he
knew
would say.
I was meant to marry Alyssa when I tried that line on her, and she said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You are no Bruce Campbell."
Damn.
Sizzle. There's some sizzle there.
You mean you haven't murdered a bunch of random deadites? And speaking of which,
You can't murder a deadite; they're already dead.
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to
You're-
ask
you're
about
fine.
some.
Dismember them.
Legally, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, good to
in their
know. They don't have the same rights that we do. The rights of the
No,
Deadites.
Constitution only counts as
Constitutionally, yeah.
1/8 of a.
Yeah,
Of a
once you've died, I mean,
Anyway, so question for you, Darby, as the Evil Dead expert in the room: are these Deadites in this version? Because they seem pretty.
Yeah, they're
in
Deadites.
some, but it's not all Deadites the way it
She's-
is in the other two movies.
They are Deadites. They still have the Necronomicon in 1300 AD. It's just the Deadites.
You mean they just have it?
They have
Bruce
it.
Campbell still has it in the 80s because we've gone back in time.
Oh, they've gone back in time.
I'm being a jackass. Go on with your point.
you know the name of the creature in the in the pit?
Oh, I don't.
The Rain
I
Corps.
don't.
Oh, the pit bitch.
The pit bitch.
Seriously?
Yeah, the pit bitch.
The pit
In
bitch.
the credits?
Yeah, that's what she's credited as.
Oh,
This
Love
is
it.
the only time in the movie where it feels like a straight up Evil Dead movie because it becomes a very different movie after this.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Because I
Yeah.
got a very Return of the Jedi vibe when he gets thrown into the pit. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, here comes the Rain Corps.
It's the
And
third of
And-
the trilogy. You know.
Did you recognize who plays the wise man? Not the wizard.
I
the sorcerer
recognize
guy?
his face, but I don't know
Who
his
is he?
name.
Mr. Pitt. It's Mr. Pitt from Seinfeld.
Oh my God! it is
Yes,
Mr.
it's
Pitt.
absolutely.
I didn't
Okay, yeah.
recognize him with the
Yeah.
awesome mustache.
Yeah, it's totally Mr.
He's one
Pitt.
of the wise men, yes. Oh, God, this moment. So let's explain the chainsaw because it just became relevant in the film. So go for it.
Oh, the chainsaw?
The chainsaw that you brought to the studio, why is it relevant all of a sudden in the film?
Because Bruce Campbell has his left hand. He had to cut it off because I guess the Evil Dead had infected it. So he cut it off and then he attached a chainsaw. So his left hand is actually a chainsaw. How cool is that? So I brought a chainsaw as a prop.
I don't know. I think that would get in the way of certain things in life.
That would be if it was on
You
my
got
right
two
hand.
hands.
Yeah,
With
you've
one
got two hands.
You got another hand.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
stir your soup with one hand.
Right.
Well, I've never heard it called that.
Yeah, I haven't
before,
either.
but
That's new. I'm gonna
yeah. stir
yeah.
my soup.
You learn how to do a lot with one hand in your
Yeah,
teen
exactly.
years.
Just put a hand on that ladle and keep on stirring.
Next stop, Pottersville. Next stop, Pottersville. Sorry,
hate
I'm
that
back,
he
to
did
Mr.
just
I'm
the-
I'm back to Mr. Pitt.
I hate that he ditches the chainsaw after this scene, though.
Yeah, I mean the boomstick does make
do
sense.
love
It's
the
just
boomstick.
I think it's hilarious that they'll like at moments in the movie they will explicitly show him putting two shells in, and then it's like just to make the joke he shoots 3 times.
Well, it's like in Shark Night where that guy shoots twice with the shotgun,
Yeah.
and then the one that he's aiming at still is terrified, and you're like, does he not know how this particular gun works?
He's in a movie.
He already shot twice.
Yeah. But I think when you make a movie, even if it's a drama, you kind of have to make that decision early on. You have to say, is this going to be a movie where the shotgun has 2 rounds and then you have to reload, or is it going to be John Wayne where he's got that revolver that has like 99 rounds in it, you know?
Archer's autism is just going off
Yeah,
the
and
charts right now.
they made the decision in this to just go with it, which makes sense.
That's
in
this
kind
whole
of
movie. Because seriously, especially, I guess, 10 minutes from now in the film, where it turns into Bruce Campbell, I have to ask, like, was the direction from Sam Raimi be Bugs Bunny on a really bad acid
Maybe.
trip? Like that, I don't know
Yeah,
what
maybe.
the hell this movie turns into.
That's entirely
when his
possible.
It
face
pays
gets
a lot of
real long.
homage to like Three Stooges
Yeah.
kind of comedy.
Yeah,
don't know.
Sam Raimi very clearly has been influenced by a lot of older comedy,
Yeah.
and he's doing that.
Vaudevillian stuff.
Yeah, and he's doing that.
Vaudevillian.
And I think,
King of Vaudeville over here.
and that's sort of I think the genius of Dino De Laurentiis is that there really aren't that many people in the history of the film business who had that kind of money and would put it into something and let this happen.
Well,
you know,
how much was the budget on this film?
Yeah, not that much.
It was like 11 million, I want to say.
Let's see.
Which is substantial for the time.
Which, by the way, the only reason this movie was made by Universal and given, a big budget for an Evil Dead movie was because of the success of Darkman.
really?
Yeah, Sam Raimi's Darkman did great at the box office, so they're like, what movie do you want to make next? And he's like, Evil Dead 3. And he wanted money for it because he's like, I finally want to make an Evil Dead movie with some money.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, good call,
Darkman, by
Darby.
the way, one of the most underrated movies.
oh, Darkman's great.
Yeah, that's a really Liam Neeson.
Liam
With
Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
And
yeah.
Frances McDormand.
Oh yeah.
Oh, one of the best actresses there is.
Yeah.
My God, I love her.
Darkman that's one of those movies that you as a kid I saw it and was like, oh, I hope they make a sequel, and I was too young to realize what happens when they make sequels. And they did.
You weren't crotchety
trilogy.
yet.
Who was in
I
the
don't
second
even.
one? No.
Not Liam Neeson.
They didn't even come out
Yeah.
in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah, they were direct to video back when that was oh, you didn't go to the theaters.
The Dark
Well,
Knight trilogy, or
good
the
call.
Dark Man trilogy.
Yeah.
Good call on the budget, Darby. It was 11 million, and it made just over 21 million
Right.
back. So
Okay. They
yeah,
made
it
10
did pretty
mil.
good.
And considering that they didn't market it, a lot of that was profit because they didn't spend a lot marketing this movie.
No.
Well, the reason why is also because this movie is just called Army of Darkness, is they wanted to sort of pull in general audiences because the first two at this point were still super culty.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? This is a big budget Universal movie. We still want people to come see this, so we're just going to call it Army of Darkness because if we call it Evil Dead 3, we're kind of isolating the audience. So,
Yeah, and not to sound like an old man again, But I will.
you're gonna.
Yeah, but I'm gonna. I think one of the things that I miss about the way movies worked was, the way I was exposed to the Evil Dead franchise was, you're at a party, you're hanging out with somebody, and there's a tape shows up. And it's like, hey, there's this movie. We should watch this. What the hell is that? Oh, it's Evil Dead.
You haven't seen Evil Dead?
No, it was no.
Stop quoting me.
No, it was more like, oh, dude, you never heard of this movie before? You've got to watch this.
Yeah. Okay.
Not like because it was culty. It wasn't assumed that everybody had seen it.
Oh, all right.
It was a find. It was like, hey, my older brother has this tape of this movie. Let's watch it. Okay. And then like the sequel would come out and you wouldn't even hear about it because you didn't have the internet and it didn't come to your town.
What did we do before the internet?
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Stirred the soup a lot, I would imagine.
Actually, more of that after the internet.
I crapped my pants
Like
before the internet.
like a lot more.
That's why the internet is still here.
I sat
my.
in diapers crapping myself.
If someone took all the porn off the internet, there'd only be one website left, and it'd be called Bring Back the Porn.
Bring back the porn.
Thank you, Scrubs. I'm surprised you didn't catch that one, Adam. But
.orgasm.
Oh, lovely. So Ash, he sort of has the same girlfriend. He's on the third iteration of the same Linda.
Linda number
Yeah.
3.
It was Bridget Fonda?
Bridget Fonda.
In the second one, right?
That's who
no,
that
I
was.
thought
It
it was
was.
Bridget Fonda.
Oh, in the second one.
In
you
the
said.
This one's Bridget Fonda, I believe.
just in the first scene, though,
The very
right?
Just the
beginning.
first
Yeah,
scene,
just the first scene. Yeah, it's Bridget
Yeah.
Fonda.
But wasn't
yeah.
it a flashback from a previous film?
Mm-mm.
Oh, they
They
actually
filmed a new Linda.
Oh,
Linda.
because
Oh,
I
I'll be
said
damned.
that
The
looks like
beginning is a
Bridget
mixture
Fonda.
of new footage and clips from Evil Dead 2.
okay,
Oh,
all right.
Okay. Yeah, well, Ash goes back to medieval times and he falls-
Elaine, my beard's grown very long, Elaine.
I require a
she has
Snickers bar.
she has the Elaine hair. So I mean, she's got
she
kind of a
Mr.
look.
Pitt.
Because he doesn't have a Linda in the medieval world. He's got a Sheila, because that name was so popular in medieval times. Sheila.
Well, again, that's
This movie.
yeah, that's.
God.
I think that's the thing about it's like David Lynch says about holding the abstraction. That's why cinema's fun. Like when you get the idea and you have this weird like abstract vision, you can hang on to it in a movie and you can keep doing stuff. And you've got Sam Raimi, you've got because Bruce Campbell had creative influence too, obviously.
Yeah.
Assuredly, yeah.
Yeah. But it's little things like that though, like her name. They didn't call her Marion. Or some,
Well, Sheila is an Australian term for just woman.
Yeah.
A bunch of Sheilas. Just a bunch
Yeah,
of Sheilas.
but it's not
there.
like
that
he
makes-
went back to medieval
that makes
Australia.
sense.
well, she's South African too.
But it's a general term for a woman.
Yeah.
And that's all he cared about. Give me some sugar.
And what do they call a guy?
Oh, I don't know.
If you're not a Sheila,
Sheila.
You're a bloke.
you're a Bruce.
Oh, Bruce.
Bruce.
Bruce, Bruce
Really?
and Sheila.
Bruce and
Bruce
Sheila.
and Sheila.
Okay.
Settle down, Bruce's and Sheila's.
I love that it took until the third movie for them to finally figure out the Ash character. Like he really became Ash in this movie, you know?
Well, let's talk about that because in the first movie,
Yeah.
the first movie is straight up it's a cabin in the woods horror movie.
Straight up
Yeah.
college kids made it in the forest. Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have much of a character.
He's the survivor.
He's reactive,
He's the final
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Remind me, how does the first one end?
He gets hit by the spirit and screams, and then it ends.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, because
okay.
it like whooshes through the woods at him,
Yeah.
and you think it possesses him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
And they ditch it in this movie.
yeah, there's so much just does not keep up with the story. But I have to point out here that we just passed it a minute ago, but Bruce Campbell has like nerves of iron because he goes back into the medieval times and there are all these pretty women fawning over him and, clearly dressing him and taking care of him and bringing him food. And he's still like, I want to go back to my time where I worked at S-Mart. I've got to go back to that instead. So
While women worship you.
yeah, I was like, he's an interesting man to just turn down all those free
See,
women.
okay, if you went back in time, and let's take the Deadites out of this. This would just be a fun thought
Yeah, they
experiment
ruined the
that
vacation.
I have actually done before. You go back in time, what's the first thing from the future you tell everybody? Bearing in mind that your whole objective is to make your life better. See, there's toilet paper. Okay, like here, guys, let me show you how to invent toilet paper because I'm going to need this.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm staying here.
Got
Right.
it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. What do you the future?
I
You've
was
been
gonna say,
around
how
now.
far back in time are we going?
Right here.
Right
you're in
here.
the
Okay.
1300s.
Okay.
Maybe not in the desert for some reason.
Tower of Power.
See, I was going to say
Sorry,
the
that's just
wheel,
me.
but they already have the wheel.
I think they knew about that.
They did have those. They did have those,
It was just
actually.
called Ye Oldie.
I'll be behind here for the rest of the episode.
Don't get too far behind the Tower of Power. I don't know.
Adam, God.
Anyway, Darby, what would you would want?
See, I was going to say that before he said 1300
hand
AD.
lotion. I don't know.
I was going to say the wheel, but they already have the
They
wheel.
got the wheel.
They got
At
wheels.
this point, so I got nothing.
There's
You can't invent the internet. There's no technology.
No.
Underwear. That's nice.
yeah. How to make just underwear. Like, oh wow, my breeches don't feel so terrible anymore.
First
washing
condom.
hands. How to,
Condoms.
hey, you're gonna stick your hands in this patient, doctor, barber,
Yeah,
whatever.
why don't you wash?
Yeah,
it?
let's wash hands.
Soap.
You know?
Yeah,
soap
that's
is a good
Soap
one.
is good. Yeah.
Well, because they even point that out
conditioner.
Yeah,
I would like conditioner.
but it's interesting. It's interesting though because
Deodorant. First deodorant.
if you
that's
just sort of think about it, you would go, I would have all these things I would tell them, about. But when you actually put yourself in there, it becomes a little bit trickier.
I tell
Because,
them
like you
about-
said, you can't invent the internet.
Nah, it's no technology.
I tell them about Yahoo stock.
There'd be a prophecy.
Yeah.
It would be like Blast from the Past.
They would
where
have
they,
you
Yeah.
when to buy and then when to sell.
Yeah.
they're all millionaires when they're 35.
Enron. Invest in Enron.
Wow, that's a really interesting idea for a story.
Yeah.
If somebody found a book that a time traveler wrote in the year 1300,
Oh, wow.
and it just has all this shit in it, where it's like Yahoo stock, this,
Yes.
9/11. I'll
witchery
get
is
back to that
this?
one. But anyway, back to the
I'd
movie.
get killed immediately. I'd be like, "What about women's right to vote? She's a witch."
A witch!
A witch!
You know, I hate to say this, but in a monarchy back then, there wasn't a lot of voting going
Yeah,
on.
nobody
yeah,
does vote.
yeah,
That's totally
yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Everyone was fucked.
Yeah, it's good to be the king. So Ash is presented with,
A quest.
He has the object that he wants to achieve is he wants to go back to his own time.
Right.
Yeah.
What is he led to believe is the way of getting back to his own time?
Fetching the book.
He needs the Necronomicon.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, it's kind of convenient. That's how that works. Because I mean, up to this point, the Necronomicon really hasn't had anything to do with anything like that. It's just been pretty much raising demons.
Yeah.
And why do the village people want it again? To prevent the army of the dead?
Sorry.
I missed that.
You
actually.
love
Now,
it.
I didn't know the village people were in this.
yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
You didn't see the feathers
Yeah.
in the background? Anyway.
Well, so there's Darby, so the villagers
Villagers whatever.
they want the Necronomicon also, and
They primarily want it so that they can get him the hell out of here because he's kind of pissing people off at this point, isn't he?
but don't they also think that
They're worshiping them though. So
But
I thought they
that'll-
wanted to prevent the army of darkness from rising, and if it was in the possession of the wise people, then obviously they would all be safe.
well, obviously they've
Am I
already
giving this movie
encountered.
too much credit?
They're already encountering Deadites at this point. So with the Necronomicon, I think they were hoping to just get rid of the evil. But with that, you can also send Ash home, so it's a win-win.
See, and I remember, years ago when I saw this, it sort of seemed to me like, were they telling Ash, hey, if you find this book, we can use it to send you back home? And it's sort of like, we'll lie to him and tell him that to get him to go get the book with
Yeah.
his boomstick and
I
everything.
thought
And
that
we
was-
actually need it for a different reason. We'll just double cross him. That's what I thought was
That
going to
sounds more
happen.
logical.
That sounds
Yeah.
way more
Yeah.
logical.
When
Yeah.
in fact he kind of half-asses the quest and doesn't
Yeah,
say
he
the right
completely
words.
half-asses it,
And
yeah.
I mean, he does face some unforeseen obstacles, miniature versions of himself poking him with a fork. What the hell did they have? Like it's
It's a
seriously.
shrimp cocktail fork.
It turned into an
When he steps on the
Acme
nail.
episode so quickly.
Oh
God, I
yeah,
hated
this is
that.
a Looney Tunes movie. Like
It really
Oh,
is.
yeah, it is.
The first two Evil Dead movies have a lot of
Porky and Bugs are haunting him.
The first two Evil Dead movies have a lot of horror and gore. This movie ditches the horror and gore for like screwball comedy, like Three Stooges era comedy, and fantasy and adventure and action. It's like a mishmash of genres except for horror. There's like barely any horror in it. There's a little bit, but
Yeah, and it has, it has the wrapper too of the S-Mart stuff. Wait, S-Mart?
Shop smart. Sure.
Shop
Yeah,
Shop
S-Mart.
S-Mart.
Because H-Mart is real, so I have to. Yeah, and S-Mart is actually real too.
And Kmart.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Kmart.
But so there's like this wrapping of him being in the present, and it's sort of he's the schlubby guy who works at a store, and he,
He's kind of like the insane grandpa at the end of it, where they're like, "Oh yeah, tell us that story again, where you could have been king."
Yeah. Well,
Hail to the king, baby.
I could have been king, but I felt like coming back. Like, okay.
Well, that's actually one of the weird things about the movie, and we'll get to it, is the whole ending is very, it has a similar feel to
Utterly
it
nonsensical.
Well, no, it has a similar feel to it as Evil Dead 2 in the sense that it's not over.
Yeah.
The story's...
They always
and in
have
fact, it's like,
cliffhangers.
yeah, and in fact, it's not just not over, it's literally ratcheted up towards a whole new story. Because it's like, well, now the same Deadite army is going to attack the present, although they really didn't seem that difficult to beat in the
The one in the
1300s.
store.
Yeah.
I don't know.
mean,
They're they just keep coming back. It's kind of like with the same reason I'm not into the show Supernatural, because there's just this big promise.
because it keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's just like it's the same. Like, oh, the end of the world, you're gonna die. End of the world, you're gonna die. Never mind, we hit the reset button. Like that's the same thing.
Well, and I think that's
time.
a good reason to stop making these movies, because it's the Doctor Who effect, where every season.
See, I like Doctor Who better than this, but
I did until the 38th time the entire series arc was the universe is going to be destroyed.
yeah.
About the 35th time, you're thinking, you know what? I think the Doctor's going to pull it off.
But they won't notice this time if we make the Doctor
Yeah.
a woman.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of the gag, is that Evil Dead always ends on a cliffhanger and it never has a true ending. And then they were going to sort of do that with the TV show, but then the TV show got spontaneously canceled after 3 seasons, so it ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh, that sucks.
It ends in a Mad Max dystopian world where Ash has like a Mad Max car and he's going to go fight Deadites in the dystopian future, and then it ends with him riding into the sunset in a cool car.
I mean,
Wants to
that
take a
could be an
Pokemon.
ending.
It's an ending,
You know,
but they were going to have a season 4 like Mad Max style.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, because I've always said, there's a right way to end a series where you've got a character that you really love, and I don't know, I've never seen the series, so I don't know if the audience really loved other characters on the show, but there's a way of ending it where you've resolved whatever it was that was bothering you in the show, but you get the feeling that the characters you love are still out there doing the same stuff that you always, it's like if you have a detective series, don't end it with the detective deciding not to be a detective anymore.
Yeah.
End it with him basically solving a big case, really important, and then just sort of going off and, I'm just going to keep doing detective stuff. You might not see it.
And he's out there watching the mean streets.
Exactly.
Still. He's got our
Batman's
backs.
still out there. You don't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
But too few people take that as an opportunity to revamp stories, like Val Kilmer throwing in his, name to be Batman again. So I don't know. It never stops.
Well, because he'll be Batman forever.
Oh, God.
He'll
Where's
definitely
the chainsaw?
See, Adam West, they asked him on your favorite show, The Big Bang Theory, why he never did a Batman voice. And he was like, I just showed up and people knew I was Batman. And I was like, that's awesome.
I knew I was
Adam West.
Batman.
You
This
gotta
is how
love
we
Adam
did
West.
that. The scene that we're at right now, which is the scene where the mini ashes.
Evil ashes.
Yeah.
This is where Darth Jader lost her patience with the movie.
Well-
the dueling ashes. Ugh.
See, this is when the movie gets better.
See, yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons I really like this is because if this was done today, and okay, yes, this is old man complaint,
Oh, yeah, this grossed me out too.
but if this was done today, it's a reasonably low budget movie. It's all going to be CGI.
Yeah. Bad CGI.
And it would have no charm to it whatsoever because bad CGI is not charming.
No.
But
Bruce Campbell's
Bad-
clearly running around on a set.
but bad set and goofy rubber head is charming.
Yeah.
And somebody made that, and they had to figure out how to do the in-camera gags, and they had to figure out how to make the little ashes and get those shots right. Now it would just be, we'll put it in a computer. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it'll do it all
It'll do
itself.
it. It'll do all the work for us. And it is impossible for that to be charming. But this I find very charming.
I mean, that's part of what makes these movies so enduring is it's all practical effects and they're ridiculous. They're supposed to look ridiculous and crazy and
Right.
you're supposed to be like that's fake because that's the point,
Right. They're not, this isn't a taking itself very, very seriously, sort of, I mean, I guess kind of the first one's. The first one took itself seriously.
It did.
They were trying to make a legit horror movie
With tree rape.
With tree rape.
Yeah, with
I
tree
mean,
rape.
like you do.
Yeah. That I don't. I'd be okay if that scene.
Yeah, they didn't need to
excised.
include
You could
Just
take that
disappeared
out.
in the
Fine.
annals of film history, yes.
Yeah, he wanted to do that in Spider-Man, but they.
Oh, don't even. I will jump across this table at you because the only reason I don't.
Groot.
The only reason I.
He was going to spin a different type of web.
Yeah,
And on that note, don't we need to take a break?
we do actually need to take a break.
Fuck breaks.
Fuck
Groovy.
trees.
Oh, well.
Okay,
Anyway,
I'm calling it. I'm
hindsighters.
calling it. I'm
Splinters.
calling it.
So
We're
many
taking a break.
splinters.
We will be,
We'll be back in 1 second.
and we're back,
Glad we're
Yes,
back.
we are back.
and we are continuing to watch Army of Darkness, and we were.
Unfortunately.
AKA Evil Dead 3, AKA the Medieval Dead.
And which version of this? This is not the director's cut with the alternate ending.
It is not.
Wait, the alternate ending was on the director's cut.
The alternate ending is in the director's cut. It's
Yeah.
also a bonus feature if you have it on DVD.
Okay, yeah. Which I agree with you, and we'll talk about that later, but that was a better ending.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Far superior ending.
But no, we were just discussing sort of a Bruce Campbell, and Darth, I think, was saying, is this the movie where he made the most off of? And
Whatever he made, it wasn't enough. But I just sort of wondered, what if he made more money doing just a cameo in the Spider-Man movies than he made in any of
it's
the Evil
totally
Dead movies?
possible.
very possible.
Totally
That's what I'm
possible.
saying.
Those were million
Because-
Yeah.
dollar movies.
For those of you
$100
who-
million dollar movies.
paying him more than his salary for Evil Dead would have been a rounding error in one of those
Honestly.
movies.
I mean, what
Yeah.
was the budget on those movies? Like $100
Oh,
million?
oh,
funny,
yeah.
because they were the blockbusters of the seasons.
Probably
when they came out.
that's the money that allowed him
Here,
to
I'm
do
gonna let you
Bubba
take a-
Hotep.
Yeah, you know.
Which
Yeah.
is my favorite Bruce Campbell movie. I love Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep's great. I
It's
love Bubba
wonderful.
Hotep.
Because
From
he
the guy
shows
who made
up.
Phantasm.
Yeah, and the sequel has been canceled.
Oh, yeah, it's been canceled for a while.
Yeah,
They were originally going to make a sequel. Bruce Campbell wasn't going to be in it. They were going to replace him with Paul Giamatti, but they canceled it.
What an interesting change.
I know. Bruce Campbell to Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. It's a smart change because I'd go, all right,
I'm intrigued.
I'll give it a shot.
I'm curious.
I'll try it.
No, you're right. So Spider-Man 2, the budget was $200 million.
Oh, shit.
So, and all he had to do, he didn't have to work as hard either. He was literally just the obnoxious
One scene.
usher
He
who
had
wouldn't
one
let
scene.
Tobey Maguire go to MJ's play. Shh.
I might
it
be-
destroys the
So
illusion.
he was an executive producer in this, so he may have pulled in a little extra.
Well, that's true. He's
dough.
getting it on the back end.
I might be
Yeah.
getting it in the back.
He was. He gets it on the
Oh,
back
right in the
end.
back.
Shamelessly
Stirring it
so.
or getting in the back end.
Ew.
He's got points
Why
on his
did I
back
do
end.
I might
I've
be
got no one to blame but myself for that.
I might be showing how young I am here, but did anybody play the video games based off of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies?
No.
I had a friend of mine who had them, and
So-
I didn't play them, but I've observed someone playing them.
Whenever you did the tutorials in those games, snarky Bruce Campbell was the guy directing you on what to do in the tutorials.
What's
for
the
those
difference
games.
between Bruce Campbell and snarky Bruce Campbell? Is that like evil
So
Ash
Bruce
versus
Campbell.
good Ash?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's Bruce Campbell.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Bruce Campbell's made a career out of being snarky.
Press
Yeah.
X, baby. Like, I don't know. What
Oh,
was
that's
he?
right. He was also in Xena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Well,
big-
yeah. So was oh crap,
Ted Raimi.
Ted Raimi.
Yeah,
Ted
I think
Raimi.
Sam Raimi produced it or something.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
Those were great.
So-
Yeah, Hercules and Xena were fantastic. Yeah, the 90s, man.
Kevin.
The 90s, it was the best.
Yeah, it was crap in my pants. It was great.
Everything peaked.
No
he was
bills.
Me
crapping-
too.
He was crapping his pants in the 90s.
I was,
You were single digits in the 90s.
yeah.
I
Wow.
was for part of them.
I was 10 when the first Spider-Man movie came out.
Ew. Get
Ew.
out. Get out of here.
Yeah.
See, he made me do it for a change. So there you go.
So wait, so
Ugh.
you were okay. So what year was that?
92.
So you turned 10 in 90. No. Well, what was the point?
Spider-Man came out in 2000.
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
Dos mil dos. as
Okay,
we
so
say.
2002 was whenever, because I like to think that, like you're 10 to like 18 is when you're going to look back the rest of your life and say, that was the best.
The 2000s then
Yeah,
for
so
me.
you're the
The
2000s.
2000s was fun, man.
Yeah. See, I
was in high
didn't
school
care for the
for those.
2000s very much. Yeah, with your 9/11s and such,
But
It was unpleasant.
comedies
Yeah.
could still be funny. So,
Yeah, there was well, I mean, it was we got Arrested Development,
Yeah.
Community. Those were all single-digit 2000s.
That's the thing. The shows I love so much, even though some of them I've only recently started watching them, like Community. I started watching that in the last 2 years. I keep thinking, oh yeah, this was like back in 2005.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was so long ago.
That's finally starting to happen to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh,
look,
you poor baby. I feel so sorry
Everything
for you.
I love is irrelevant.
It's all relative.
Dust
It really is.
in the wind.
yeah, this took a
Anyhow,
turn.
so there's a part of the story that we have not discussed yet, which is the fact that Lord Arthur is rivals with Lord Henry.
King Henry, yeah.
King Henry, sorry. And they announced that they're brothers. I don't know if that's just them saying, hey, we're united now, whatever, at the end, because spoiler alert, everybody gets along at the end when Ash saves the day.
They all team up
Shocking.
together
It's a
to
happy
fight.
ending.
Yeah.
We call it.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Ew.
it's it's the classic movie trope where at the darkest moment, the cavalry comes across the
you had
hill.
me
going
there.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait for it, wait for it,
Yeah.
wait for it.
Yeah.
You form a strong bond. When you fight Deadites together, you form a strong bond for life.
Oh yeah.
It's like the elves and the
But
the whatever.
Smurfs.
Yeah.
The elves and the Smurfs when they fight the orcs.
Shh, Charles, it's time for some tea.
You know,
anyway,
I find it funny that at the end of Evil Dead 2, Ash goes through medieval times, immediately kills one Deadite, and then they're all like praising him. And then the third movie, they nix that, and he spends an entire hour and 15 minutes trying to win their approval.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so I didn't make that up
Yeah.
because the beginning of Evil Dead 3 is almost like, I bet you're wondering how I wound up in this situation because he's literally just like, he's in irons walking
as
through
him
the
in the car
desert.
falling, it freezes.
Yeah.
Well, to understand that, we're gonna have to go back a little bit.
And it
exactly.
rewinds.
Which,
yeah.
by the way, I love.
You want to go back to 3 weeks earlier when you were still alive?
the scene where he does arrive in the past and the car falls, and,
Yes.
and the fact that they only had one take.
Yeah.
They were going to drop the car, and the car was gone, so they weren't going to get a chance to do it again. And Bruce Campbell had to time the fall exactly right. And see, again, that's why I think it's charming.
It was a lot of work.
Because you look at that and you go, okay, so Bruce Campbell's off camera, and they're trying to figure out,
He's just jumping.
okay.
Now wait. No, when I watched that, it looked like they were projecting the fall of the car and he was jumping. Take a look at it again. It looked like it was
Okay,
it was done.
That was actually from
Attention.
Evil Dead 2, that footage of him falling. The car
God.
footage.
When
yeah.
the car hits the ground?
That's from Evil Dead 2.
Oh, okay.
They're just
well,
reusing it.
okay. Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well,
But they still made it. Yeah.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And Sheila, so she's come back up now, but I have a
With
question.
some makeup on her face.
Yeah.
I know
Maybe you
she's-
got real ugly.
I may be bad, but I feel good.
Such
Groovy.
See, and that's the
Line
thing.
from The Breakfast
In
Club.
any other movie, you would go, "Give me a fucking break."
Oh, I
but
said
it
that
works.
repeatedly throughout.
This is the most quotable of the Evil Dead movies. This is when Ash starts spewing cheesy one-liners, and where the
Give me some sugar, baby.
give me some sugar, baby, good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun. This is when
Yeah.
Ash starts becoming the quote-unquote reluctant hero badass that
Yeah.
he is known as.
And also a pretty darn good engineer too.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
impressed with.
They dumb him down in the show. It's kind of I forgot how smart he was in this movie.
And clearly he works out.
You must work out.
He works
look
out.
at the butt on that.
Yeah.
See, they need to do. They just need to do an animated series because they could run that
Bruce
for
can-
5
Bruce can come back
seasons.
so
It
easily.
costs nothing to make.
Are you talking about
know.
Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Bruce
People
Campbell.
would just fall over themselves to animate that. You wouldn't even have to hire somebody,
Yeah.
Well,
in
it's
Hollywood.
funny you say that, Jason. There's rumors of that because since they canceled the TV show, Bruce Campbell went on social media, retired the character, but he said, I will continue to play the role if it's voice only, and he did it for the video game.
Okay.
And there's now petitions to make an Evil Dead cartoon.
Bruce
That would
Campbell's-
be fantastic. We've said that before. We've had this conversation a few times on the show that is the model that needs to happen with TV shows like Community. They could do it with that. They could do it with so many
Napoleon Dynamite.
Abed
Yeah,
goes
because
permanently crazy, and they're all
the-
claymation forever.
shows. Yeah, because there's the show, the Canadian comedy Corner Gas. That was the number one. It was like their Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember you telling
huge.
me about this show.
And it ran for like 7 seasons, went off the air, they made a movie, and then they brought it back as a cartoon. Literally the same sitcom with the same actors, but now who cares? They're all a little older. Who cares? They still sound the same.
Yeah.
You know?
They've done that with a few shows. They
Yeah.
brought it back as an animated series.
And that way there's no disappointment in, the time lapse or anything like that.
Or the actor's looking older.
Right,
yeah, exactly.
Bruce Campbell sounds exactly the same now.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, he runs with a lot of rumors. So one of the things that happened during the infamous Johnny and Amber trial was that there was a rumor circulating saying that Bruce Campbell was going to replace Amber Heard in the Aquaman movies.
I would love
And some genius superimposed him into the posters with Jason Momoa, and he was like, I'm actually on board with this. If anybody wants to make this happen, just give me a call. I'll be Amber Heard. That's cool.
There were
a
lot of rumors. Yeah, I remember that.
So I think he just he's one of those guys that loves to get ahead of the joke, and he's very good at it. He spent most of a career doing it. So I think
he is very well aware of who he is.
Oh, and he just
knows
rolls with it.
Yeah, he knows exactly where he fits in things, and he knows how to maximize getting the most out of that. We're getting into the third act of the movie, which is
final battle.
Which is, and this
surprisingly dull.
This is where I think
I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah, the
Ooh,
pacing.
wow.
The pacing really slows
That's an
down
agreement.
here.
Yeah.
I think the final battle could be half as long, and that would have been fine because it just, it's kind of gag, then another gag, then another
Blow up
gag.
Then
another
Bruce Campbell
skeleton.
fighting
Yeah,
with two
yeah.
weapons instead
Ray
of one.
Harryhausen skeletons.
Yes, very Ray
So
Harryhausen.
I love how that they try to get around, they cut the gore in this movie from the first two, and the way they do it is they have all the villains be skeletons instead of, deadites with skin.
And oatmeal exploding out of their entrails.
Exploding oatmeal and eyes popping out of their heads into people's mouths.
Yeah, 'cause that-
Well, and
those
you can imagine sitting at a meeting and having them go, oh well, we won't do all those effects. We'll just do skeletons. It'll be cheaper.
No.
Universal, not only did they originally gave Sam Raimi all the freedom he wanted to make this movie the way he wanted, and then that's where they did all the cuts. They're like, oh, you want to call it The Medieval Dead, which, by the way, come on, great title.
Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
fantastic.
Never, we're not going to let you call it The Medieval Dead. Oh, you gave us this movie with this sad ending. Actually, we need a happy ending. Oh, you gave us this really gory movie because it feels like Evil Dead. Oh, actually, we want to get a PG-13. Oh, I guess we'll deal with cutting it down to an R.
Sweet Jesus.
So they did all these things to kind of not butcher it because it's still a great movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't feel as Evil Dead-y.
It's so weird whenever it's like we've all heard that same story a million times with a million different movies. And I don't remember ever once hearing that story with it, and it made the movie better.
Yeah, all the interference of the cooks in
you
the
always
kitchens.
hear about it. Well, the reason the movie flopped was the studio got in there and totally, the movie we did last week, The Keep.
Spider-Man 3.
No.
Yeah, The Keep.
Week before last.
I couldn't remember the name of it, but it was. I was just
Yeah.
about to mention that movie because I feel like it was similar to Mr. Brown's experience of seeing Total Recall,
Yeah.
where he saw the movie literally out of order.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, I know there's a story here. I'm
Right.
trying to piece it together, but
Well-
it's just not there.
Yeah, and it's interesting because The Keep is a movie that should have had Dino De Laurentiis attached to it because it's that kind of movie.
And Kyle MacLachlan.
Kale.
No,
I think
Kale.
he-
I don't think Kale would have done.
Kale's better.
No, but the other Dino movie that everybody knows, Dune, the David Lynch Dune, it was the same story. The studio basically says no, cut, film this again,
Sting in a diaper, cut.
and you end up with a movie that no one can understand.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys spent a lot of money making this, just roll with it. Just
Well,
fucking
because-
roll with it.
And I have to ask, you're usually you've got a lot of perspective behind the camera. What's the process there? Because do they literally just come in, make some punctuating remark, and then leave it? Because what do they think they're achieving when they make such a hard left with some of the changes that they
in the
force
olden
on the
days,
movie?
in the olden days, you would have dailies. So as the movie was being filmed, the film cans are going to the processing place, and they would do a rush print, no color correction, no nothing, and they would somebody would just kind of piece it together to fit the script. The studio execs would watch the dailies as the movie was being made. It's one of the reasons why directors wanted to make the movie fast, Make it fast because if it takes us a long time, it gives the executives more time to watch the dailies.
Shot this picture in 3 days.
And then say, oh, no, we don't like this. We don't like any of this. Reshoot all of this stuff. So they would watch the dailies, and we've all seen it in TV shows, like two executives sitting in a movie theater, one guy smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
The
So they
studio
just
boss
get a
going,
hunk of the
what
movie."
is this? What is this movie we're watching here? This is garbage.
It's too many lines.
Yeah, too many lines. What are all these actors up here? Get rid of the actors. And they would literally send notes to the director saying, "Fix this." We don't
Without
like
worrying
this.
about the whole picture?
Yeah, they would if it was Steven Spielberg, they would very politely suggest, Steven, maybe we could have, could this actor be in it a little more? Because, we did pay a lot for him, please. But if you're Sam Raimi at this point, it was, hi, Sam. You're gonna do this shit, or we're gonna pull the whole thing.
Kevin Smith has a great story about that he integrated into Clerks, the animated series, where Randall and Dante are on an elevator, and these snarky producers are in front of them on the elevator and just like, oh, that was the biggest piece of garbage I've ever seen. Oh, have you ever seen anything so terrible? And they walk off, and Randall's like, hey, was he just talking about us? Because Kevin Smith got, like you're saying, since he wasn't Steven Spielberg, people would just talk shit to his face.
Well, yeah, and but the thing is, now it's even worse though, because two things have happened. One is that it's all digital. So literally, they can sit and damn near watch it in real time as the director is making the movie and interfere in real time. And they don't let directors get very big anymore because you can't tell. Why do we, in the music business, why don't we have that many big bands? Huge. There's no Metallica, except Metallica, but they're just hanging on. It's because when you get to that level where you can't tell. We can't tell Pink Floyd to change this album.
Yeah,
They'll tell us to go fuck ourselves.
There's no Stallone on set going, I want to be credited as the author of the Book of Cobra.
Right. Well, there's no, there's not going to be a new Spielberg.
No.
Because Spielberg was at that level where if you don't like it, this is the last picture I'll do with you. And I'll go to a different studio.
Yeah, people were falling all over themselves.
You're making a lot of money off me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what they tend to do is they'll find find an indie film that did really well.
Look, it's
take
a
that director,
car.
give him a big budget, see if he can make a big movie. If he can, maybe we give him another one, but then that's it.
You know what? What's the deal with Sam Raimi making a trilogy where the first two movies prove to be successes, everybody loves them, and then the studio seems to come in on that third movie and be like, you know what? I think we should change half of what you're doing.
Right.
After proving everybody right twice.
Yeah,
fuck you.
Yeah, because you're right, Jason.
Spider-Man 3.
Name a huge director who's huge right now, like who hasn't been for the last 40 years, like Spielberg. I would say like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, he's close.
But even he is
he's older.
Spielberg.
You're right.
Nolan's probably the last big
Mendes,
director.
Sam Mendes. He could be.
Yeah,
but he's not going to because they're not going to let it happen.
Yeah,
yeah. And the flip side to it is that you do have, people ask, well, why did we enter a golden age of television? That's kind of why.
Yeah.
Because you could get a director and they could do this streaming project and somebody was going to buy 6 episodes or whatever. You could do a limited series thing. And, they were making enough of these that they kind of didn't even have time to manage all of them. And like Amazon and Netflix, their business model basically became find 10 or 15 directors, give them 10 or 15 budgets. One of them is going to make something really, really good, and that's the one that we're going to hype and get new subscribers.
Well, it's amazing how positive that's come out. Like because you get your Mrs. Maisels out of that. You get your Only Murders in the Building. You get the streaming services have revamped a lot of great talent for that reason.
Yeah. Well, you never would have gotten to Stranger Things.
Yeah.
The Duffer Brothers would never have been given free reign to just do the show how they wanted to do it. But for some reason, when it's TV, it's a different world from this old, very controlled studio. feature film kind of thing.
Sorry, I just saw Ash just break a skeleton almost
great,
in half.
Yeah.
It's so much slapstick and ridiculousness. And,
This movie doesn't even try to. I mean, it tries to be so different from the first two.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing with Sheila doesn't track either. So Sheila's, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only
'Cause
seen
she's
the
a
movie the one
poofta.
time. Sheila hates Ash at first because her brother died in the battles where Ash is now a slave.
Yeah, she just really
so
assumes.
somehow
yeah.
she just takes her anger
big
out on
stretch.
Ash
Yeah.
for her brother dying. Right?
all
Okay,
your
so
fault.
then,
Well, he was with the other group.
But then she
Yeah,
makes him a shirt.
but he wasn't
So-
with
True.
the other group. He fell out of the sky. He
But
wasn't
they
with
didn't-
anybody.
She didn't know
see
that, though.
She didn't see that.
Yeah.
He was
Perception
captured.
is reality, I guess.
Well,
They
no,
were all
yeah.
grouped together. You
They're
know?
like this guy that has
women.
Yeah.
This guy
They
that
make
has this
broad
weird weapon
assumptions.
and this weird looking vehicle falls out of the sky, and they assume that
I
they've
just
never
love that
seen
they
him
go
ever.
to town on his car, like trying to stab
Like
it
they've
with
never
their
seen him ever, but they
Right.
assume he's with King Henry.
Yeah.
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 Well,
and-
because back
but
then there were only two groups of people in the entire
right.
world.
Us and them.
It was us and them.
Us and
well, you're not
them.
one of us. You must be with those
That's
assholes.
true. And Ash does, he flips the script on everybody when he gets to Lord Arthur's kingdom or castle or whatever. And he
Medieval times.
He lets King Henry go. He's like, all right, those guys get to go free. Everybody can, if you want a peace, come and fight me, whatever. Let these guys go. So he sort of picks a side, but then the sides band together. But at some point, Sheila decides that since Ash is the chosen one.
I just love how do we make the skeleton look scared? Just shake him. It's great.
This
I
movie's
love
so
it.
corny.
Yeah.
I love it. I love everything about it.
Exactly. That's the thing.
It's got a charm that
It
cannot
does.
be topped.
Yes. And you don't get a lot of charming movies these days. Like
No.
movies that are just like, yeah, I know it's not very good, but boy, I loved it.
You see, Ash could never do a scene like this anymore. What is it? Is he like 60?
Let's
Oh
find out.
God.
He's in his mid 50s.
Oh,
Okay.
60.
I don't
That's
know.
so old.
I'm thinking he's 60.
The TV show in
Say I think he's
2015, Bruce Campbell surprised me, but then again, he might have had a really good stuntman. So,
Yeah.
Oh, look at the silver on that fox. He is 64.
There you go.
He's 64?
I'll be damned.
Wow.
You can't move around like that when you're 64.
No, but when
Let
you're
us
Unless
know
you're-
50
unless you're
years
Mick
from now,
Jagger.
Mr.
Yeah.
Brown.
or Tom Cruise.
Oh,
Tom
Tiny
could do it.
Well, when
Yeah,
you're
right.
born with jet fuel in your blood,
Oh, that is
you
true.
can move
Yeah.
however you want.
So yeah, so if they do a fourth one, they should have Tom Cruise as Ash. There you go. That's my. It'll cost
Just
$300
like-
million.
Just like with Austin Powers. See, he can still keep groovy
Yeah.
because he did it in Austin Powers 3.
Groovy,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Well, by
can
the
do
way,
it.
Maverick has made more money than any other film
Yeah.
in history.
Oh yeah.
Seriously?
Wow.
It
In
actually.
history?
More than Titanic.
That's
It made
insane.
more than Titanic. Just
What-
and
what's
somewhere
amazing-
James Cameron's crying.
yeah.
More than Avatar.
He's no longer
Yeah.
the greatest in the world.
He hasn't been the greatest in the world for
Yeah.
Oh,
years.
yeah, there's another one that we didn't even mention because he was a huge director.
Oh yeah,
Cameron.
James
James
Cameron.
Cameron.
yeah. And James Cameron is still. I mean,
He's still James Cameron.
James
That's the
Cameron
thing.
still has his book of formulas he uses
He
to
comes
make
out of the
movies.
woodwork once
You
every
know,
decade.
He's devoting his
Yeah.
career to blue people movies.
Yeah.
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 Have you seen the behind the scenes of those with everybody interacting in their helmets?
No. It's probably hilarious.
Well, I
See,
think the
I'll-
funniest instance of that was Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug the Dragon, because
that's great.
They
Yeah.
credit him, and he was at some interview, I can't remember where, but they were like, "Oh yeah, you're credited as Smaug," and he goes, "That the thing is, I'm credited as the voice of Smaug. I was that dragon," and you see him with his motion capture helmet,
Third
and he's
time.
literally.
Third time.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, third time.
I've never told
You
this story on the show.
You absolutely have.
I have not. Oh, screw you. To move on.
Classic
Go
Jader.
ahead. We
Classic
like
Jader
it.
with the
Hey,
smog.
Tell me again.
No.
I love it every time you
I
tell
hate
it.
all of you.
She's
We've
throwing the
broken
book
her.
at us.
So anyway,
Hate
we're
this movie and I hate all of you. Move on.
After this movie, people were begging for an Evil Dead 4. They had to wait 21 years, and they got a remake. They didn't even get a sequel.
See, and that's another thing I find weird because it's a business, right? And you would think that if you had an audience clamoring for a product, you would give it. But then again, Darkman.
Darkman.
We got a sequel to that, and it was garbage.
This movie, Darkman
so-
gave us Army of Darkness. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
we need to do
screw
Darkman.
you, Darkman.
I don't think you will care for it.
See,
It's sort of a superhero movie, but not.
Yeah, it's like it's kind and it's got some body horror,
a lot of body
decent
horror.
amount of body horror.
Oh, do they Clive Barker themselves in this movie?
Well, it involves Liam Neeson's character's burned badly.
It's like
I'm
Cronenberg
very
meets
badly
Batman.
burned.
He doesn't have lips, and it's
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like
Yeah.
Cronenberg
You
meets
shot
Batman.
me!
yes,
Phantom of
yes,
the
that's
Opera.
exactly what it is. It's Cronenberg's
Phantom
Batman.
of Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie ends, and again, we said earlier, the third act is where the pacing sort of starts to slow down. Even though it's a fast-paced scene,
It's an
it
hour and
just
15-minute
goes
movie.
on forever. Yeah. So even today, when I was watching it again, I kind of fought the urge to just press the skip ahead button because it's like, okay.
He's just hitting skeletons at
Yeah.
this point
But
over and
he-
over again.
But he does eventually get the Necronomicon back, and he defeats the bad guy who we haven't even mentioned, the villain,
Evil Ash.
Evil Ash. We haven't even said anything about him.
I said dueling ashes
somehow-
earlier.
Yeah,
And Evil Ash somehow spawns a mullet.
yeah,
Well, everybody with a mullet is evil, so that's they
That's
they
true.
just give you a little contextual clue as opposed to spelling it out for you
yeah.
with exposition.
The mullet's
That's-
making a comeback.
That's cinema. Well, it's all going to come back. That's the thing.
Zoomers
yeah.
have mullets now.
Yeah, every
Oh, no,
every bad
what?
idea that's ever happened, some's going to do it again.
Leisure Suit? That
Well,
may never
I'd
come
actually
in.
be okay
Yeah,
if that came back.
I would like a leisure suit.
Rolling
right
up the
about now.
sleeves
What's
on blazers.
What's sad is that men with mullets are procreating. Women
Yeah,
are
they
allowing
are.
this.
Yes.
So women that are allowing this to happen, let's talk. We need to sort this out.
Yeah,
This
you
is
guys
a
need to have
problem.
like a convention or something and like come up with specific.
I'll talk
thing,
to all the women. Don't
Yeah,
worry
you
about
could-
it. I'm on
and
it.
then publish
Women-
whatever that is.
Women. Let's.
You
Call
like
me.
men in jumpers?
I don't like women in rompers.
rompers,
Rompers,
That's
what I
it.
think.
Rompers.
Rompers.
But he does. Ash defeats Evil Ash,
I'm
and
defeated.
he gets the Necronomicon back.
The Book of the Dead.
He is then given the opportunity to travel back to the
S-Mart.
present.
He doesn't even go back to his life. He goes back to his job.
Well,
His
At
job
the
is his
S-Mart.
life. When
Yeah.
you work at S-Mart,
Maybe he'll meet another Linda.
Is that what they had in
he
Pennsylvania?
met
the
somebody.
S-Mart?
I mean, there's a girl in the end who's like, "Oh, that story was so cute," or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you
there's
could, I
actually
don't know.
a,
I think she was kind of teasing him at first, like, "Oh yeah, Grandpa, tell us the story about you being king again." But then he saves her life, and she's just falling all over him. So I think her opinion about him shifts really
Saving
quickly.
somebody from a hell spawned demon, that's a panty dropper.
That's the ultimate aphrodisiac. Yeah.
That's why
That's why Darby's getting married.
Yeah, that's why I say, if you can first date material right there, it's tough to arrange.
Stage an army of
yeah,
darkness. Save
works.
your woman from ghouls.
Yeah, it's the oldest trick in the book. So Ash is given very clear instructions on how to get back to the present, and they're instructions that match the instructions he was given
Which he didn't get right the
when
first
he fucked
time.
up the first time getting
Yeah.
the Necron. He was
He
supposed
can't say Klaatu Barada Nikto. He messed it up.
Yeah.
How many times did you practice that in the mirror?
Me?
Yes.
I just picked it up.
Oh, excuse me.
he's young, Adam.
Every
He's still
syllable.
fertile in the brain.
I was about to say, where the
Well,
hell is he
Takes me
going?
6
know-
months of saying it over and over
when-
before it
when-
Stop
sinks in.
stirring the soup.
When other guys were out, bagging chicks, I was at home. I was at home watching this movie on
We
repeat.
call it bagging
so
babes, please.
bagging babes.
Yes.
You're right.
I'll talk to all the women. We'll decide. Don't worry.
I was at home, watching this movie.
Yeah. So was I,
Stirring the
actually.
soup.
That's, I think the best of us were at home watching movies like this and making ourselves better people.
Oh yeah.
Talk about rewriting history.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my universe. You guys just live in it.
By the way, on the TV show, they make a joke about all of the Lindas.
Oh, do they?
Linda.
Yeah, he meets up with his first girlfriend from high school, and her name is Linda. And then he almost looks at the screen and he's like, "Oh yes, I remember my first Linda."
He's got a thing for Lindas.
He's got a thing for Lindas.
But
So he does screw it up.
he does. He kisses his favorite 80s hair gal goodbye to go
He should
back
have
to the
stayed there.
S-Mart.
He should have stayed.
Yeah, I mean, he had groupies.
Again, no toilet paper.
Yeah, no
You got a
penicillin.
hand.
Yeah.
No hygiene
yeah,
products of any kind,
Yeah.
really.
You got a shirt.
Although, you know what? I mean, yeah, what are you going to do? Live forever?
I'm gonna
Yeah, I could
learn
see
how to
staying there.
fly.
They didn't have wax. They didn't have razors. You just
That is true.
imagine.
Yeah,
what-
that is, yeah. that
It'd
is
be
true.
like the 70s all over again.
Delousing.
The
You're
bearded lady.
welcome.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. There's
Ted.
Ted.
It's good to be the brother of the king.
So, yeah.
As Ron
Seriously.
Howard's brother.
Yeah.
Toasting off your brother.
Who, the ice cream man?
Yeah.
No, wait. Yeah, the ice cream
Clint
man.
Howard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Clint Howard.
Clint
Yeah.
Howard.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I've
No,
seen
I-
clips.
When
Holy
I-
shit.
It's a movie.
It
Clint
is.
Howard's in so many things that I've seen, but for whatever reason, it stuck.
Was it
that
directed by
he's
Ron
in-
Howard?
Yeah, he was in the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was
Family Guy.
Yeah, I know he's in. I just
Yeah.
said he's in a ton of different things, but I just have that mental picture of him in the Grinch. with
Directed by
Jim
Ron
Carrey.
Howard.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Because Ron Howard let his dad and his brother be in a lot of his work. So
Oh, yeah.
So Ash returns to his
S-Mart.
life at the S-Mart. He still has his robot hand that he manufactured, which is still working a treat. Very good engineering.
engineers make the world go round.
And
Somehow a Deadite got into
You're
present
welcome.
day.
yeah, which we are led to believe is because he didn't say the words.
Yeah, that's so.
Not
there
every
was,
syllable, no.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, not every syllable. Right.
Yeah, because he was instructed to find the Necronomicon back in medieval times, and he screws up the magic words, and so the book bites him. There's a bunch of slapstick going on with the three different books that he encounters. He picks the wrong one, it bites him. He picks the wrong one, and it goes on for way too long. And then, yeah, I guess he screws up the incantation again, so the Deadites follow him back to the future.
So now they're in the 90s.
They gotta get back to the future, Marty.
Yeah.
Marty, we gotta get back.
And
Gotta get that Szechuan sauce.
see, and I just love that, this is the movie that firmly establishes Ash as being unflappable. You could literally say anything to him. You're never going to get under his skin.
He kind of
you know.
establishes that in the beginning of the movie. I even wrote that down where he said, the book awoke something dark in the woods. It got into my hand and it went bad, so I lobbed it off at the wrist. He sets that tone for himself at the very beginning of this movie. Yeah, I paid attention, Darby, as much as this movie rubbed me the wrong way. It just,
I'm just glad it rubbed you.
ew.
Ew.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
So-
you're not.
So the Deadites are now in the 90s. He kills one of them.
The 90s makes so
He's-
much more sense
He
now.
kisses the lady, has a final line about being the king, baby.
It's good to be the king.
And that's the end of the trilogy. That's the end of the original Evil Dead trilogy, and we don't know anything until the TV show 25 years later.
Yeah. Which, hopefully they will. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I mean, hopefully, just so the audience gets a complete story.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it will come back as an animated series. I just hate that. I hate it whenever a series.
Yeah.
It's like the original Battlestar Galactica. It's like, I was a kid, I loved it, it was great, and then just gone.
Well, because not a lot of people watched it, I'm going to say watch Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's all on Netflix. There's only 30 episodes. Support the show
There's
because
only
maybe
30 episodes.
we'll get something. It's 10 episodes per season, so it's only
going
it's a
back-
half-hour comedy.
Going back to streaming, that isn't a big deal anymore because you used to say, 30 episodes, that's a whole lot of material. No,
Yeah.
not
No.
anymore.
They binge it in 2 days.
You got me into Only Murders. I ate up a whole season in one day. Just so streaming just makes that possible.
Yeah, I'm actually becoming more and more a fan of the slow release streaming.
Yeah. Where they put one a day.
You'll never
one a week.
remember. What
Yeah.
do they say on Only Murders? You'll never remember just getting a speck of what you want every
Well,
10 years.
Releasing one a week is a smarter idea because then they have to keep their membership longer.
Right.
That's
Right.
true.
So
Well, and so that is,
Roll credits.
in all likelihood, our last trip down the.
Yeah, Linda, Bridget Fonda, there she is.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
funny that you say last.
I feel like Ash. Like this just keeps coming back to haunt me over and over and over again. It's never gonna end.
Probably not.
Stay
Damn
tuned.
it.
Stay tuned. Halloween 2023. We're gonna do Evil Dead 2013
Yeah,
Ew.
it's gonna happen. It's
or
gonna
Evil
happen.
Dead Rise if it's actually good. It could suck though.
All right, so straight 5 over here. Obviously, first time seeing it yesterday. So
For me, geez, I think still it's a 5 for me because I've seen this movie so many times that it hasn't had an opportunity to age for me. I mean, it's the same today as it was whenever I saw it years
Hasn't
ago.
marinated at all.
No, I mean it's. I remember watching this in high school, about the same.
So this is your favorite of the trilogy, right, Jason?
You know,
Yeah, apparently
I
this
said
is
that
the big
earlier.
deal with
Yeah,
these movies.
I said that earlier, and I think the third act of this movie drags it down enough
Okay.
that 2 is gonna edge it out.
Edge it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's the thing about these movies is each movie in this trilogy is so drastically different than the other one that it kind of just comes down to personal preferences or what mood you're in, you know? So,
Yeah, it's hard to make a real like cinematic argument
right.
because they're just totally different. I mean,
It's like horror movie, horror comedy,
Yeah.
fantasy adventure comedy. You know, it's
and the
all over
budget
place.
the budget is so different between all three that you're right. I mean, they are a trilogy, but it's almost unfair to compare one to the other. You know, they're just different animals. It's not like Star Wars where they're all equally fairly disappointing.
Wait a minute.
Except for the originals.
Except for the
Whoa.
originals. Except for the originals.
Leave the originals
I
out
know
of
you've
this.
been getting tired of Star Wars, but that's no reason
So
to beat on
fucking
the
over Star
originals.
Wars.
This is my second favorite trilogy
Speaking of which.
next to Star Wars.
R2 and an X-wing on my notebook.
Oh, there you go.
It's everywhere. It's
Aw,
everywhere.
look, 2 things created in 1977.
Me and my little
Yeah.
notebook.
No, I'm kind
Where I
of
write my
going to
erotic
say that
fanfiction.
2. I think 2 does beat it
Ooh.
because I do think the pacing and kind of wanting them to get it over with at the end of the third act. I think that knocks it down.
Well, it seems like critics sort of agree because if you go on Rotten Tomatoes, the first 2 movies have like 95 to 100%.
Yeah.
And this third one has like a 72.
Okay,
So-
that makes sense.
See, I can't even rank them because to me, I don't know. I came into this so painfully lacking in nostalgia, and I was way too sober to watch these films.
Well, they're just so different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
They're
like
such
saying, what's a
different
better movie,
movies.
Raiders of the Lost Ark or Witness?
Because everybody who's kind
They
of
both have Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that's true. That's
know.
true.
get
Yeah.
off my
Good analogy.
plane.
Good analogy.
You know?
But yeah, so I can't rank them the way all you Deadites, Evil Dead fans can.
Deadheads.
Deadheads,
Oh, wait,
sure.
that's Grateful
Yeah,
Dead,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Oh,
That's
I don't
copyright.
know. I don't care.
I'm stealing it.
Good luck with that. You're gonna get so sued.
So many stoners are going to come after me.
Yeah, with the lack of familiarity, I don't think I can give any sort of ranking because I made a comment, sort of pulling Darby out on Facebook last night saying, all right, Darby, I hope you're happy. I'm watching this damn movie for
And
the
then
podcast. And everybody just came out of the woodwork.
Everyone
had
rioted.
something to say. Olga ranked it. Bob
my
had a
gosh.
comment. Melody commented. So everybody jumped on that bandwagon quickly.
Look at the copyright right there.
1992.
92.
These
Good
movies
job.
have
Good
a
job, Charles.
die-hard
Dino.
cult following. Like Evil Dead fans don't screw around. They actually just released a really good documentary on Shudder called Hail to the Deadites about Evil Dead fandom and how it's carried on over the years.
See, I was just listening to a podcast about only murders in the building, so we're getting too meta.
Yeah.
So before that happens, Hindsighters, this has been our last Halloween episode
So-
for 2022.
What about our rankings?
She forgot about us. 'cause
No,
we're
I
the
gave my
Adams.
ranking. Okay, you
Yeah.
know what?
But
Yeah,
it's
he-
not all about you, Darth.
It
Yeah.
normally is,
I
but
know.
I was trying to bring it back. Tonight
What are
is
you going to give it?
No, I want to hear your review
All
first.
right. So I felt like the movie had a similar impact, but, based on my scatological proclivities, envisioning
why?
Isn't that called fecophilia?
envisioning Adam Darby in a poopy diaper when this was actually being released. I don't know, just dials it up a notch.
Why are
I'm
you
going to give it a
envisioning
6.
that?
A 6?
So
Okay.
that's my question.
What's that?
Nothing.
Okay.
I think we're all going to roughly fall in the same area of the spectrum here for different reasons.
Yeah.
Or completely
Why are you
different
looking at me
reasons.
when you say that? Jeez.
So I'm not going to ramble too long because I am an obsessive fan, but like
This is why I tried to cut you off before you could start talking.
See, I knew you were going
Let
to
the
do
man
that.
speak.
This is my second favorite trilogy of all time next to Star Wars. But anyways, listen, I love all 3 of these movies. I think Army of Darkness is my least favorite, but I totally get it when people say it's their favorite because each one of these movies are completely different monsters. So I love this movie. I think it's great. I think the first 2 are infinitely better, but I think it's a good ending to a masterful trilogy of cinema.
There's
And-
nothing else like it.
Yeah, there's nothing else like it.
It
I
is
think
its own entity.
I think
That's true.
I think Ash really came into his own character in the third movie, and Bruce Campbell kind of went full badass in the third movie. And I think it was great. I think it's a great trilogy, and it managed to stick the landing for the most part, despite being so different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And actually, credit to them for having the big budget and not losing the sort of the heart and
spirit
soul
of it. Yeah.
You know, because that could have easily happened. Oh, we're going to give you all this money, and then go off and do something that it's like, well, this doesn't feel like a worthy successor.
I mean, despite the fact that they
didn't become his water world.
God, despite the fact that they did water it down a little bit with the violence, it still feels like a Sam Raimi Evil Dead. Or Sam Raimi movie, I should say. So
especially with the camera work, and they did a lot of callbacks to the style of the other two movies.
The frantic zooms.
Yes.
So I mean,
right.
For Alf to Seinfeld, I got to go 5 too, because I've been watching this movie since I was 12, and my feelings about it have been the same entirely. So it's always been my least favorite, but I think this is actually the movie that turned me on to Evil Dead, because I caught the first 15 minutes of it on AMC at like 2 a.m. as a kid, had no idea what this weird movie was, and then I went back and watched the first, second, and then when I got to the third one, I was like, oh my God, it's that weird fucking movie that I saw on AMC 5 years ago. So,
Awesome. Well,
There's a history there.
There's a history. Yeah, it all comes full
that's
circle.
adorable.
So yeah, this movie.
He's loved these movies since he was a little baby.
Little baby.
It would be a Darby episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. To close it out properly, before I take us home, we've got to hear some Ash lines in Arnold's voice.
Oh God.
I think so.
Come on, baby. Give me some sugar. Come on. Go. Do it. Come here. I'm right here. Come on. Do it.
Maria, this is my boomstick. I want you to say that.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun. You're terminated.
You do an amazing Jurgen Prochnow impression. Incredible.
Awesome.
Sorry.
I'll take it.
Any other lines you'd like to share with us before I take us home?
That's all I
That'll
got.
do it.
Beautiful.
That'll do it. Yeah. Take us
And on
home,
that
Darth.
note,
Well, Hindsighters, this has been a romp. It's been our last Halloween episode.
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And happy married life as of the release of this episode.
I will be married and
Yes.
old in my 30s.
He'll-
Yes.
He's going to be an old married gal.
I'm going to be an adult, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Welcome
It's
to the
all
jungle.
downhill from here.
I'm going to be a real boy.
Love it. Welcome to the old person's crew, Darby. We welcome you with open arms. But anyway, Hindsighters, we appreciate you joining us for this Halloween time, even though we shot most of it in August, so it feels a little bit awkward.
That's how professionals
Hey,
do it.
I wore
It's
a
hot as
pumpkin
hell
shirt.
outside.
I
Yeah.
dressed up for Halloween, but we
Well,
appreciate
in Halloween, he won't be a virgin anymore, right?
he's going to be an honest man come
I've heard
Halloween.
good things, Mr. Brown. It's been built up.
It's fun.
We'll tell you about the birds and the bees off the camera. But anyhow, we appreciate you joining us for your drive time, your listening time, your Deadite time, your Bruce Campbell acting like Bugs Bunny time. We don't care what kind of time this has been. Darth, Adam, and Jason with Hindsight, and good night.